白岩学園3年 B 組の皆さん、こんにちは。
All right. Good evening, all three of you. How's it going? So today, I think let's go crazy. I'm gonna leave the less spectacular sunrise up. Let's go crazy. And let's see here. Okay, all right. Hey, Jonathan Pohl, what's going down, buddy? Spark Schmidt, what's up, sport? Looks like we've got my favorite downvoter. I'm really happy about this. I really feel like you haven't made it until you have at least one stalker or hater. So I feel like I've kind of gone somewhere. This is good news. This is great. New horizons. Okay, so today, let's see, we were at 420, if I recall correctly, in the mitzvahs. Where are we? There we are, 420. Well, I was wondering if there's anything that's like, oh, that's right, it's freaking Labor Day. I forgot about that. Okay, so funny-ish, I suppose, thing. I happen to know a couple of red diaper babies, one like formal and the other one informal, and they were both saying that, and because I interrogated them about Labor Day, and one of them said that Labor Day did not have to do with socialism, and yet, what were they talking about? What was this person talking about? They're talking about the workers, labor, and this person does not at all observe any other holidays other than those that are celebrated within the Torah, right? Old Testament, the Tanakh. And so, of course, when I hear such a person say, Labor Day, let's celebrate the holiday, let's go out and do something, I couldn't help but think, oh gosh, here we are. Anyhow, yeah, it's a big giant thing here in Los Angeles. And because, well, for reasons, I went out and I went outside today, and I will admit that it was kind of fun to go outside. It was enjoyable. However, it was just kind of, well, then again, anytime I go outside here in Los Angeles, it's always just a little bit weird. I can't explain it fully. It's really hard to explain what I mean by what I am about to say, which is that the city is essentially a two-tier system now. Los Angeles is more or less like, I mean, remembering that white people are approximately 28 or 29% of the population, Los Angeles is de facto a two-tier society. And when I go out, I very much notice the two tiers. It's really hard not to notice the two tiers. And so, here on Labor Day, I just so happened to go out to a movie. And who was attending the movie? Well, a bunch of fellow whites. And who were the laborers that were actually running the projectors, tearing the tickets, filling the drinks, pouring the butter on the popcorn? Well, they were white people, blacks, and Mexicans. Funny, isn't it? Celebrating Labor Day and then making laborers work on Labor Day. Goodness gracious, what are you gonna do? Anyhow, so yeah, something about the past couple of days has really taken it out of me. So if I'm just a touch delirious or weird, it's because I'm just a touch delirious and or weird. Let's see here. Europe Rising, you should play the video I posted earlier on my channel. I think you and others would like it. Let me go ahead and let's see here. Go to channel. I'm just going to post a quick link in the chat. And I am going to I mean, nothing by it, but I'm not going to play the video. However, I'm absolutely going to post a link to it in the chat. So there you go. That's Europe Rising's video that he posted earlier today. I kind of want to get back to the mitzvahs because I want to see if I can get through them as quickly as possible. I really want to get over to the protocols of the elders of Zion. I don't know exactly. At some point in the near future, yeah, I'll watch it later. I don't know when I'm going to get to the protocols of the elders of Zion. Rather, no, I was going to get to the protocols of the elders of Zion, but I was wondering, yes, when I'm going to start a little bit of Bible streaming. I'm going to be getting a King James Bible as soon as possible. I've got like 6 Bibles, weirdly, and I can't find the other ones, but the one that I do have access to is like a Living Bible, which was really popular like in the late 80s, early 90s, and that one, I kind of want to, I mean, like, it's good enough to get the like kind of a baseline understanding of kind of what's going on, but I would much prefer a King James Bible. So I'm going to do some Bible streaming at some point, but only after I get a King James. So that's going to be on the docket. Now, all of that said, we're going to move into a little bit of mitzvah posting and qualifiers, very important. This is a stream of peace. We do not endorse anyone or anything. We do not exhort anyone to do anything at all. I do not advocate. We here at Ekelux live streams do not advocate that anyone do anything, not a gosh darn thing. And let's see here. This is all about cultural exchange. This is all about understanding. We wish to understand about cultures and peoples and religions. Diversity, macht frei. Israel is our greatest ally. So there you go. Oh, freaking OV's here. Hey, buddy. Tom Anderson, Marge, Goose. There's like a whole freaking gamut in here. Jonathan Pohl, but of course. Hey guys, it's going down. So, okay, I'm going to presently move over to, oh gosh, Jonathan Pohl is asking about the Luke, rather Brundlefly's critique of Luke Ford's decline in viewership and, according to some, quality. I gotta say, that was a hell of a stream. One heck of a stream, and I kind of agree with Brundlefly. You can go ahead and say that he was going in a bit strong, but I mean, he's right. Or seen from the other direction, he's not wrong. Anyhow, if anyone wants to check out that stream, let's see. Let me see if I can find it. Brundlefly. Oh no, you know what? I don't know. I don't know how to find it at the moment. Let me see if I can. Maybe I would have to find it in history or something. I don't have it in my view history, which is too bad. Anyhow, anyone that wants to check it out might be of some interest. Luke Ford ended up restreaming it, so you can, if one were so inclined, one could go to Luke Ford's live streaming channel and then catch the majority of Brundlefly's stream about Luke Ford, which is funny because what you end up with is Luke Ford streaming about a person who is streaming about him. I can't explain why, but that's really funny to me. Anyhow, everyone should check it out at some point. It is amusing. Anyhow, alright, so we were, by we, I mean me and my kitty, we were talking about offerings and sacrifices, and way earlier on there was something about not to bear grudges, but of course here the mitzvah, right? So I'm going through the 613 mitzvahs, all of which have citations going through Exodus to Numbers to Deuteronomy and so on. And one of them was something to the effect of do not hold a grudge. And then much later on, there was quite a lot about how the people, the Torah followers, must despise the missionaries and to refrain from defending missionaries. So they're very upset about missionaries. If I were to decide that I wanted to antagonize those who proselytize, or those who follow the Torah, I should say. They don't proselytize, but those who follow the Torah. I think I would become a missionary. I would proselytize the good word of Jesus, our Lord and Savior, because those who follow the 613 mitzvahs, well, they actively despise the missionaries that proselytize the good word. There is a fun aphorism that I like a lot, which was, "The wicked flee when no man pursueth." So, proselytize. Just declare your love of Jesus, our Lord and Savior, and then watch as all those Christ deniers skitter off into the shadows. Anyhow, let's go ahead and move into the mitzvahs. 613, we are at 420, so just shy of 200 to go. Maybe I can make it through 100. Maybe. We'll see. Number 420. To be seen at the temple on Passover, Shavuot, and Sukkot. Oh, that's right. Because I'd made mention that 420 is effectively just... It's actually the opposite of what Jesus said. Jesus said that you ought not be seen praying in public. When you pray, it is to God. It is not to be seen in public. I forget the exact verse. I don't even remember the book. I just remember when I was a little kid thinking that that was a really good sentiment, and I liked it a lot. Anyway, 420 is essentially diametrically opposed to the teachings of Jesus. Let's continue. 421. To celebrate on these three festivals, parenthetical, by bringing a offering, end parenthetical. That is... I really am bummed out by bad editing. It should be by bringing an offering, not by bringing a offering. Moving on. 422. To rejoice on these three festivals. 423. Not to appear at the temple without offerings. 424. Not to refrain from rejoicing with and giving gifts to the Levites. 425. To assemble all the people on the Sukkot following the 7th year, bracket. The king publicly reads portions of the Torah, end bracket. 426. To set aside the firstborn animals, bracket, to be eaten by the Kohanim and sacrificed unless they are blemished, end bracket. Oh my gosh. So firstborn animals are to be sacrificed. That is rough stuff. All right. Well, I guess we know now. Okay, that's a hell of a thing. All right, 428. Not to redeem the firstborn. Not to redeem the firstborn. Wow. So firstborn animals are not to be Jeez. This is really intense stuff, man. This is all in reference to sacrifices. The mitzvahs, they have this really weird thing where, I mean, so many, like, I kind of want to do at some point, not today, clearly, but at some point it would be interesting to simply count the number of mitzvahs out of the 613 that refer to sacrifices. A huge number. I think well over 10% refer to sacrifices. It's incredible. Continuing. 429. Separate the tithe from animals, bracket, to be eaten by the Kohanim and sacrificed unless they are blemished. 430. Not to redeem the tithe. 431. Every person must bring a sin offering for his transgression. Oh my. every person must bring a sin offering. I'll be darned. 432, to bring an asham talui offering when uncertain of guilt. So if you don't know if you are guilty, you bring some kind of an offering. Alright, 433. Bring an asham vadai offering, bracket, for certain sins, and bracket, when guilt is ascertained. 434. Bring an ole viored offering, parenthetical, if the person is wealthy, an animal, if poor, a bird, or meal offering, and parenthetical, bracket, for certain sins, end bracket. Okay. 435. The Sanhedrin must bring an offering when it rules in error. That kind of makes sense, though. Like, I'm not completely averse to the spirit of what that, I think, intends. 436. A woman who had a running issue must bring an offering after she goes to the mikvah. I don't know what that means. We'll continue. 437. A woman who gave birth must bring an offering after she goes to the mikvah. Okay. 438. A man who had a running issue must bring an offering after he goes to the mikvah. I don't know what running issue means. Perhaps they mean something that is in the infinitive, running as in not having run, not to have ran, but one that is running in one's life, I think, perhaps. I don't know. Anyhow, 439, a metzora, parenthetical, quote, leprous, end quote, person. See, according to the Torah, is leprosy a hygienic problem, or is it something spiritual and miraculous, end parenthetical? Must bring an offering after going to the mikvah. 440. Not to substitute another beast for one set apart for sacrifice. 441. The new animal, in addition to the substituted one, retains consecration. The new animal, in addition to the substituted one. Well, I'll be darned. So it says not to substitute one beast for another, and yet if you do a substitution, both are consecrated. Well, that makes it seem like there's a lot of wiggle room there. A lot of wiggle room. Okay, I'm going to have to remember this. 441. I should write this down, actually. Alright, I can't help myself. I have to write this down. This is mildly important. Mitzvah 441. Uh, 441, new animal in addition to the substituted one retains. Check. Alright, sorry about that. Continuing, 442, not to change consecrated animals from one type of offering to another. 443, carry out the laws of impurity of the dead. 444, it's a great track, by the way, by Autiker. Carry out the procedure of the red heifer. 445, carry out the laws of the sprinkling water, bracket, of the red heifer, and bracket. 446, rule the laws of human tsara'at, parenthetical, leprosy. See mitzvah 439, as end parenthetical, as prescribed in the Torah. 447, the metzora, parenthetical, leper, end parenthetical, must not remove his signs of impurity. 448. The Metzora must not shave signs of impurity in his hair. 449. The Metzora must publicize his condition by tearing his garments, allowing his hair to grow, and covering his mustache. Weird. 450. Carrying out the prescribed rules for purifying the Metzora. 451. The Metzora must shave off all his hair prior to purification. 452. Carry out the laws of, quote, leprous and, quote, clothing. 453. Carry out the laws of leprous houses. 454. Observe the laws of menstrual impurity. 455. Observe the laws of impurity caused by childbirth. 456. Remember, effluvia is what causes impurity. So if you so much as sneeze, you cause an impurity. Also remembering that the only people that may be caused to be impure are gems. The goyim cannot, by definition, become impure. Continuing. 456. Observe the laws of impurity caused by a woman's running issue. 457. Observe the laws of impurity caused by a man's running issue. Parenthetical. Irregular ejaculation of infected semen. End parenthetical. 458. Observe the laws of impurity caused by a dead beast. 459. Observe the laws of impurity caused by the 8 shratzim, parenthetical, rodents, amphibious creatures, and lizards, end parenthetical, bracket specified in the Torah, end bracket. So, impure animals, amphibians, perhaps groypers. 460. Observe the laws of impurity of a seminal emission, parenthetical, regular ejaculation with normal semen, end parenthetical. 461. Observe the laws of impurity concerning liquid and solid foods. 462. Every impure person must immerse himself in a mikvah to become pure. Immersion. This is where baptism comes from, by the way. This specific mitzvah is all about what would become baptism. 462. Okay, we are now at 11:21, or 29 rather, and I think what I'm going to do is play a little track and drink a little water. So let's find something that is fun to listen to. And now I get to go through all of my downloads as per usual and attempt to find something just long enough that I can have a little bit of water. These are all very long tracks. I'm pretty sure this one didn't actually... I think this one didn't give me a strike. So I'm going to play this track and hope for the best. We'll see what happens. Let's find a good image to go along with it. I really should have done this before I started streaming, so my apologies. And let's find a fun track. Or a fun image, rather, to go with the track. Pics. No, those are ridiculous. No, also ridiculous. Okay, I have no idea what I'm going to pick now. That's not wonderful. We'll go with this. This is fine. I can allow for this one. It's a bit much, but that's fine. Where are we? No. Oh my gosh, this image is gargantuan. It's going to take me just a moment to finish sizing this more or less. Okay, there we are. Okay, so this is Remind Me by Royksop. Gosh, circa early 2000s, maybe 2002 or something. Anyhow, this is a fun track. I like it a lot, and I'm pretty sure that the audio levels will be close to what I want them to be, so we're going to start low and then bring them up. Alright, AFK BRB.
It's only been a week, the rush of being home and rapid fading, failing to recall what I was missing all that time in England. It sent me aimlessly on foot or by the help of transportation to knock on windows where my friend no longer lived. I had forgotten. And everywhere I go, there's always something to remind me of another place and time, where love that traveled far had found me. We stayed outside till 2, waiting for the light to come back. We didn't talk, I knew, until you asked what I was thinking. Until you asked what I was thinking. Brave men tell the truth. The wise man's fools are analogies and puzzles. The woman holds her tongue, knowing silence will speak for her. Brave men tell the truth. The wise man's tools are analogies and puzzles. The woman holds her tongue, knowing silence will speak for her. Will speak for her. And everywhere I go, there's always something to remind me of another place and time, where love that traveled far had found me.
Oh man, I got lost in the music like a retard. My bad. Great track. Oh, look at this. We have, of all the things, Wild Sin wandering in. And can I get a quick hello for audio check purposes?
Hey buddy, how's it going?
Oh, word up. Get a quick hello for audio check purposes.
Nice. Are you having like a little freak hailstorm back there, bro, or what's going on?
No, I've got a chair that's ancient. Let me get my, because I wanna reduce the echo. I wanna reduce the boomer tech issues. So I'm gonna get my.
All about reducing echo around here.
Oh gosh, that hurts. Okay, one sec. I wanna reduce the boomer tech issues. So I'm gonna get my.
All about reducing
Oh
echo
no!
around here.
I'm echoing big time. Oh my god, that's horrifying. Okay.
All right, don't look at me. I've got YouTube turned off, man.
Yeah, no, that's my fault. It's totally my fault. I forgot to. I do this all the time. I always forget to mute fucking YouTube. Cause whatever.
Oh, man.
Cause I like to listen to the music while it's playing, and then sometimes I forget to mute my own stream like a retard. Anyway, how's it going, buddy?
Oh, well, man, it's going. Just living that farm life, hashtag.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, fuck. The only reason I'm awake and functioning right now is I took a pretty huge nap earlier in the day around like
lucky.
6 o'clock. It was really rainy earlier, and so there really wasn't much to do. So anyway, but yeah, that's why I'm conscious and here with you at this time. Because normally, dude, I'm out cold.
Dude, I know. Like a year ago, you were by basically every night or every other night, and then like out of nowhere, you're like, I got a great idea. I'm gonna get a life.
Yeah, that was during my degenerate, unemployed, like neat life days.
Yeah.
Which, yeah, in some ways, I really missed that time because holy fuck, yeah, that was freedom to the. It's weird, Eke. It's like the way it really works, dude, is that you have like freedom on one end and then money/life on the other, and they're like mutually. There's an inverse relationship.
Yeah, I've caught that too. I can never quite decide which I like better.
Yeah,
it's weird. Because when
it kind of fucking sucks.
Yeah, like when I have money, I'm like, oh my god, this is amazing. I love it.
Yeah. In fact, my whole life, I think, up to this point has kind of been a effort to figure out how to have both, like how to cheat the system. Because some people do it, it's possible, but it's like it's literally like 1 in a million.
Well, it also helps to be born into certain families.
Well, and then, depending on how we define family, I mean, that can be more true than some people might think. Yeah. I mean, you might even say like an extended family or a tribe, dare I say.
Oh, you settle down.
That's right. I forget we're trying not to get striked off of YouTube these days, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
I'm doing what I can to, even though I think that there's a good argument to be made for me basically going straight ahead cuck. I just want to stay on YouTube exactly long enough that, like maybe I can help contribute a little bit. I don't know. We'll see. I don't know. But I have this weird idea in the back of my head that basically streaming means that you help to either create or to nurture a community that is not. It's not about me. It's not about Sin. It's not about anyone in particular. It's about just people in general. So that's the only reason why I keep going. And even though I'd like to have more open discussions, I genuinely think, I really do. I do think that the best we can do for the moment is to have the most open discussions possible. So yeah, that whole thing about the avoiding strikes, that hits close to home.
No, I mean, I totally, on a serious note, man, I understand because, it's a clear and present danger these days for anyone that could be classified as a so-called content creator.
Yeah.
So, but like on the note of your whole thing about like streaming as, I mean, small and stupid, as you have said before, which we all disagree with, but
Well, I love it. I love it small and simple and easy to comprehend. But anyway, go on.
Yeah, well, but like how that has an impact, however small, like it gives you the sense of at least feeling like you're doing something right to help out with the situation. It's like, I kind of feel the same way, man. I mean, you just float around, you're trying to just help give people views that are saying truthful things. You're trying to spread messages and keep like content creators alive. It's kind of like everybody, I think, is on that same page that's in this. They're doing the same thing. It's just how much longer are they going to let us do that, man? That's what is kind of, I think, on everybody's mind these days, right?
Definitely on mine, like for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
One of the biggest problems that I see in the future, actually, it's the red flag laws. I really feel that the red flag laws, that's gonna be the deal, because once they start red flagging people for crime think, you de facto eliminate the First Amendment. So you actually get to attack two things at the same time. You get to attack people's God-given right to keep and bear arms, self-defense, defense against tyranny, and you also take away their ability to freely discuss their dissent regarding tyrannical rule. It's insidious.
Yeah, dude, and along that same vein, think about this. The scariest part of it for me, and I totally agree with you, by the way, like red flags are the biggest like red flag, serious. But for me, the scariest thing is that it's so perfect, right? For them, for the ruling class, let's just say, the people that really desperately and for many decades have wanted to get around or destroy or somehow invalidate their two most hated amendments to the Constitution, right? The first and the second. And they've got it wrapped up in a nice, neat little package with this whole red flag thing. And no matter what, there's not going to be any effective legal challenge to it. People I've seen on like normie channels, like normie cons, boomer conservative channels and stuff, that everybody's talking about like take it to the Supreme Court, and it's like even that will not stop it. It's so convenient and so necessary, like critical to their agenda right now, that there's not going to be any stopping of it. You might slow it down, you might stop it in certain places, but not completely. It's too perfect, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's the scary part, man.
The only thing that I can think now is the phrase, "we don't negotiate with terrorists." And
right.
I mean, I don't know, because if you give them leeway, if you start to agree with them in any sense, you're basically capitulating, you're acquiescing. And this is what the communists say. They love to say things like there is no discussion, and so they just go full bore, and they flex raw power up to and including violence, physical. And so they win de facto because they don't compromise. And I kind of feel like this, I mean, I don't like it because this is the escalation that I don't care for, that I don't want to deal with. But at the same time, if one were to decide to retain the exercising of, if one were to retain the exercising of one's God-given rights to keep and bear arms for self-defense purposes, without regard to what tyrants and traitors say or demand, then you are in effect saying and I'm saying in effect, I'm not saying literally, I'm just saying in effect, you are saying I am willing to be attacked by tyrants and traitors. And that's what I see in the future, and I don't like it, and I don't want to deal with that.
Yeah, I completely hear you. You know, the other thing, man, that gets me is that, like what you were saying about the way that communists frame things, the way they'll talk about, you know, the never compromise, don't, you know, it really kind of pisses me off to no end, actually, that like the right wing pisses me off in a lot of ways more than the left. It's like the left, I understand, you know, like a rabid dog, it's gonna bite you, it makes sense.
Yeah,
But the right,
yeah,
it's like you people are being fucking suicidal cucks,
yeah,
and you're my only like fucking, you're the only fucking people I can turn to, and you're being retarded.
yeah,
It really does, man. It gets me more. Like, I have to go to something that would be labeled, you know, far right, and, you know, a HATE group by our friends at the SPLC,
yeah.
to even get a semblance of like people on my fucking page. So what does that say about me? Well, I guess it's pretty clear, but at the same time, it's like, well, to me, it's all just a matter of how clear can you see the situation. If you're looking at it clearly, you're pretty much ready. Like, you know, there's no wishy-washiness about it. It's the conservatives that are
Yeah.
in the same vein as liberals. They're not seeing the forest for the trees, man.
Well, yeah, there's a funny boomer meme, something about conservatives are liberals going at the speed limit.
Yeah. With their blinker on, oblivious, not turning.
Yeah, that's not gonna fucking fly. And this is why, in my own head, I keep thinking about the phrase, we don't negotiate with terrorists. And I kind of think that the proper way to frame it really is they're making threats that are physical in nature. There's a tweet that I got, okay, this is going to be a bit much. Where are we? Okay, so this is from an article, and here is an excerpt from the article. I'm going to post it in the chat for everyone to see. Okay, and at the middle point of this article is one hell of a series of quotes. Okay, I'm just going to read you two quotes, and this is from the article. This is from an article about that little piece. Why aren't we murdering more white people? Okay, and here are a couple of quotes from an article about that art piece. Quote, art piece, end quote. And here are the quotes. I think if you're not supporting people of color and to end white supremacy, and you're neutral, or you aren't that person that's, or you are that person that's perpetuating it, then you shouldn't. I think you deserve harm. That's the first quote. So they think we deserve harm. Second quote. And sometimes I feel like non-violence is not the best route. End quote. When I say the phrase, I don't negotiate with terrorists, that's what I'm thinking of. This is the same group that's advocating for an end to Second Amendment protections.
Yeah,
how do you negotiate with that? What is there to negotiate?
You can't, because if you do, we know the result. Okay, it's called South Africa.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
another favorite is Spain circa 1936, or Haiti circa 1804.
Didn't they have 2 massacres in Haiti? I thought there were at least 2. One in the early 1800s, and then I think one later on.
Yeah, that's true. The
Yeah,
first
but
one
either way.
was males, white males, incidentally. And the second one, yeah, that was women and children.
Yeah, you know what's funny? I think the biggest red pill for anyone, even like someone more advanced, is that like from Haiti specifically, from the Haitian massacres, is that they didn't just kill the whites, right? They also killed the coloreds, the so-called,
Oh, yeah.
the mulattoes,
Yeah,
the mixed,
yeah.
they killed them too, right? So it really kind of activates those almonds, eh?
Yeah, I've got some jogging going on.
In the noggin. Yeah,
Oh, yes.
me too.
Big
At all
time.
times. But on your note of not negotiating with terrorists, yeah, I really wish we could get more normie-con conservatives to kind of get on that page that these people are dangerous and psychopathic, and they will not hesitate to cause serious physical bodily harm
Yeah.
to them, regardless of their fucking cucking and virtue signaling. It doesn't matter how many times you say, I'm not racist, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's you're still an evil white person to them.
Yeah, it sucks too, because like, I'll say it again, because it's funny in context. Yeah, I am paused, and like I genuinely don't care if a person is white or black. Like, it doesn't fucking bother me. I do understand group dynamics, but whatever. Anyway, the point is that, like, I get it. I get that I'm bad. I have for most of my life I've been bad at group dynamics. I've been bad at defense of group and so on. And I still hold a lot of that, that mindset. But that doesn't matter to a progressive, and like, I'm aware of that. So I know that I can't say I'm not racist, because they're never gonna fucking hear it. They'll never hear it. The only person that I could possibly say I'm not racist to would be like a Wignat, and then they would scoff at me.
Yeah, they just say cuck
Yeah.
and then walk away. Yeah.
Exactly. But the thing is that, like, conservatives don't understand that. They have no idea. So
It's more
like,
for themselves, man. It's like
Yeah.
a circle jerk. It's an in-group thing. They're saying it to other conservatives so that they kind of it's almost like a slave mentality. They know that there's an authority on high. They can't really put their finger on it, or at least all of them, but they know that the general atmosphere is that you can't be racist, right? And they follow that. So in essence, they're kind of, in my opinion, they're basically living as slaves,
Yeah.
because there's an authority over them that they don't question.
Yeah, and it's like because I have a hard time. I know people that are conservative, and they really do just want like a happy, bland, plain Jane life where they just have kids, they play baseball, just silly bullshit. And in all honesty, I want that too. But the thing is that I'm now starting to think that you kind of have to create islands of safety, and outside of those islands of safety is essentially pure wilderness, red in tooth and claw. And if you decide that you're going to play the game of the animal attacking you, the animal wins. The animal attacking us is using the word racist, and like, I don't know how to communicate to conservatives, you need to stop bowing to that fucking word. That is a stupid goddamn word. It doesn't help you to say, I'm not racist. Never fucking helps you. Never.
Yeah, I call it made up. I say that stupid made up, and sometimes I include commie buzzword, but because it is, man. That's the real truth, the history. It's like you can tell someone, if they were in a position to listen, the history. It's like, this word didn't exist prior to the 1920s, basically, and it was invented by fucking Trotsky, and it's true. It's absolutely true. You can look at the history of it. I mean, it really was not a mainstream term used widely in any vernacular until the fucking the early Soviet, the Bolshevik government, popularized it and wrote it into law.
I wish I could call it a fake word.
I mean, it's not anymore. You can't I wouldn't call it fake, but it is made up. I mean, everything is made up, whatever, postmodernists can hit you with that. But it's like, this is not an organic word that just, came about because it was useful. It's a propaganda word. Just like wrongthink, popularized by a novelist. It's like, these things are, I guess you can say they exist. So, I mean, I get where you're coming from, Eke, but it's like, just kind of throwing that out to some people can get their gears turning. Not like leftists, but more like, conservative type people.
Yeah. I wish there was a way that I could, accelerate it somehow. There's a thing, so a couple days ago, Poseidon wandered into the chat, and I was like, yay, Poseidon's here. And one of the things that he was saying that I agree with is that there needs to be some kind of an event or a display, something, so that white people understand that they're under attack. And I don't think that such an event or circumstance or whatever has come about. And to your word, accelerate, in some way, I almost think that just going straight ahead, unabashed, full-throated, pro-white would be a great way to get people to attack you. And maybe, I mean, I'm spitballing, and I don't want to be the guy to do it, so I'm not advocating anyone do this, and I'm not saying that I want to. I live in Los Angeles, so I don't want to deal with that shit, because I'm in the middle of it.
Oh god.
Yeah,
you gotta get out, dude.
You
gotta get out, bro.
I know. But just imagine a person saying, yeah, I'm white, and I want my people to continue to exist. I want us to have a safe space where we can, go for our own destiny without having to worry about other people giving us shit for being what we are. That would be great. I would love that. And of course, we all know, just as I say that, we all know that immediately after all of the screeching from communists, SJWs, progressives, and so on, we all know what it would sound like.
God, I can hear the rees already, dude.
Yeah. It'd be terrible. But the advantage to it is that people would see it. They would see, like that one kid, that college kid, he was just some weirdo like a year ago. Just some college kid who's like, yeah, I fucking love white people. What of it? And like he was, yelling at these SJWs, and they got all pissed off or whatever. And he was into like high weirdness or something. He was like in his early 20s, and he wrote a book about, I don't remember what. He was like STEM or something. And it just got brushed up brushed under the rug, like no one talked about it.
Yeah, I remember that video though. I remember when that was like making the rounds, circulating. All the normie con channels were talking about it.
But it was great though.
Yeah,
it was great. And the thing is that the guy, he was basically in a lot of ways, he was kind of where I am, which is basically a boomer tier conservative that kind of gets racial awareness.
yeah, but I mean, let's be real. Like, yeah, I'd say your power level is well over 9,000. I mean, it might even be approaching.
I don't know,
6
man. Well, one of these days my power levels will approach 6 million. It'll be amazing.
That time is now, man. I'm saying. But seriously though, I agree with you. What you're saying is that we need some kind of an event polarizing, because what's happening now is you know, I mean, I know you see it, man, but it's like they're really setting things up right now to kind of herd any pro-white, like racially aware white conservatives. They're pretty much kind of shepherding them to the slaughter under this whole white nationalist, like terrorist threat deal, right? Like that's what they're setting up. That's the media, that's all the events, the happenings, everything's kind of pointing in that direction. And that's fucking scary, man, because that's like realistically down the line you're looking at cattle cars and camps, like no joke.
Because there are some groups of people that would be like, they kind of want a boogaloo situation, and I don't want a boogaloo situation. I would actually prefer the Billy Roper style balkanization, where we try to go our separate way as peacefully as possible, which I don't think will happen peacefully, but I think it's going to happen. And I think doing everything possible to just, you know, really hammer that through, like, no, I want this to be peaceful. We're going to get attacked. You know, it's not up to us whether or not we get attacked. It's up to our attackers whether or not we get attacked. So I understand that we're going to get attacked. I get it. But it would be easier on a public relations front to get people on our side if we were always hammering home the point: we want peace. We will not disarm for obvious reasons, but we actually do want peace. And I think maybe on a long enough timeline that might take hold, maybe. I mean, I'm not advocating that we do anything. I'm just talking about a hypothetical. But yeah, like, it does kind of bum me out, because even though like most of the people that I know, most of us do want a peaceful situation, but there's some people where they actually are down with things that I'm not down with in terms of physical activities. And it's like, dude, there could be like Ruby Ridge stuff that would happen, you know.
Yeah, I think we should all be well aware that the people in charge are not averse to murdering large groups of people to secure their agenda. We, if anything, we should be aware of that by now, right?
Yeah.
That's another problem that like normie con conservative types get wrong, is that they're like, oh, they put their own values out there for everybody, that, you know, they want things to be peaceful and that they would never, you know, intentionally inflict violence on others and so on and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, yeah, okay, that's high and noble. Your enemies don't share any of that. None of it. Not, in fact, it's the opposite for them. It's the opposite.
Not only do they
the communist style, like the communist style belief that, you know, the ends justify the means, you know, anything in service to the revolution, that's just watered down beliefs inherited by their the masters, the creators of that whole deal. right?
Yeah.
That it's literally just a watered down version that they have inherently. So, like, that's what gets me, man, is nobody realizes exactly what we're up against except for a very small group of people. Only a very small group, and they're the most black-pilled because they're like, holy fucking shit, we're up against like Skynet, basically.
Yeah.
A ruthless, cold, calculating, almost machine-like entity.
Yeah.
That's what we're dealing with, and it has no morals, none. Like, what can you do? You can't exploit all the tactics that would work on human beings. Don't work on them because they're that psychotic, they're that psychopathic, they're that devoid of normal human emotions. At least the positive ones. Or they're so twisted that they derive joy and glee from the suffering and death of their enemies, which, you know, I mean, mind you, that wouldn't necessarily be that bad of a thing, but their enemies are everybody and anything good. So it's a terrible thing.
Yeah.
Like, that's another thing, too. Like, the lack of any sort of... well, actually, no, I won't say that on your stream, okay? Never mind.
Okay.
But...
Alright.
Yeah, well, this whole thing kind of gets me riled up, man, because it's like, you know, fuck, we're being targeted for annihilation. Like, if it was Terminator, if it was Skynet, and it was fucking Terminators doing this shit, we would rise up and fight. But we won't, because it's all wrapped up in fucking cutesy liberalism, right?
Yeah,
and it's got everybody fooled.
In rhetoric that
It's-
even I used to believe in.
Yeah, it's like, dude, it's the worst timeline, man.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, oh, it's the best timeline. It's like, no, dude, it's the worst timeline. Like, you don't even know.
Yeah, like it's almost like we're running on fumes in some way.
Yeah.
Back when I was a little kid, you know, crime was going down generally. We were still riding the wave of the empire. It was great, you know.
Yeah. Optimism lasted all the way through until the late 90s, dude, and then everything turned nihilistic. And then you had 9/11, and shit just got out of control.
Yeah, basically.
Pretty much, dude. Yeah. And then remember the little brief period in 2012 when it was like, you know, the whole Mayan calendar deal, and it was almost like kind of a throwback to 99. It was like, you know,
loved
be
it.
like the end of the world. You know?
I loved it. I was looking forward to December 23rd or 21st, 2012 for like a decade. So, and the funny thing is, I kind of half remember the day, December 23rd or 21st or whatever it was, and like, it's just another day.
Yeah, I mean, shit, dude. I remember being in high school in like, you know, '07, and people were, you know, talking about, oh yeah, like the world's gonna end in 2012. Just by the way, FYI. Like even back then, it was still something. So yeah.
Yeah.
But I just remember the atmosphere. It was kind of, you know, it was festive, but almost in a nihilistic sort of way. Like we're all gonna die, so you know, drink and be merry.
Yeah.
But yeah, but you know, it's the reason I thought of that, Eke. The reason I brought up 2012 is because there's like a meme comment going around where it's like people are saying like we died in 2012 and we've been in hell for 7 years,
Oh,
right?
God.
Like, fuck. At this point, I can't write that off.
Oh no. We've been in purgatory this whole time.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh man.
I mean, honestly, like it kind of fits. Like, you know that picture? Remember that picture, Eke, from I forget what it was. It was like the protest in London that they had where like the Trump baby balloon was. Remember that?
Oh,
But there was
yeah.
that picture where it was like the person who had transitioned their gender right in front. Remember, with the like spread eagle, and then there's all the people behind him and shit. Remember that, dude?
Yeah.
That you can't look at that and tell me that we might not be that there's a possibility that we may be in hell. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, Jesus.
Dude, yeah, I was on 4chan earlier today, and there were some photographs with regards to dilation. Oh, there it is. Okay, I'm not going to link to it. Well, I'm just going to go ahead and say that there is a very disturbing thread on 4chan that refers to this. And yes, you say hell, and I say, you know what? We're not far off. Like, it's bad. It's really fucking bad. There are people that are chopping their freaking genitals off.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Okay, I was talking over you, man.
Oh, sorry. Go on.
No. I'm just gonna say that the genital mutilation stuff that I've seen on 4chan and other places is enough to make me seriously consider the possibility that we may be in hell. Yeah. That's one. The pedophilia stuff is the other one. You know, the drag queen story hour stuff. I mean,
did you hear about
literal fucking demons? Like, to quote Alex Jones, literal fucking demons.
Yeah.
Because you know, like, I mean, the one famous pic, it's literally got bloody horns, man. Like, come on.
Well, and did you see the furries that are getting their arms and hands and legs amputated? Have you seen that?
I only saw the one, like, the story about the one. I refuse to accept that that's becoming a widespread thing yet. I haven't seen the evidence, but
okay, it's not
is it more than just that one dude?
Yes, it's not widespread, but yeah, that's actually a thing.
God damn it.
Yeah.
Like, dude, where is the, like, medical... Isn't there, like, a medical ethics board?
Yeah, but...
Isn't there, like, some sort of authority that deals with, you know, like, ethics and what doctors, like, can... Like, what they should and shouldn't do? Where the fuck are they in shit like that, dude?
Yeah, but that's just body dysphoria, my dude.
God damn. Yeah, see, all this came about as a result of body modification becoming mainstream.
Yeah.
And it became mainstream through the process of incrementalism. We watched it. The fucking slippery slope is not a fallacy. Anyone who says that shit to me, I'm gonna be like, yeah, no, it's not a fallacy.
Yeah.
It's real.
I've watched it.
I've seen it with my own fucking eyes, so
yeah. Go
to hell if you tell me that it's a goddamn fallacy, because it's not.
Yeah, it's a real fucking bummer.
But yeah, it's a serious problem. Dude, not to be too black-pilled, but on the subject of the whole, like, degeneracy angle, like, have you heard about this whole that there's, like, a recent flare-up with the whole fucking Gamergate Zoe Quinn bullshit, right? I'm not gonna mention it too much.
God,
yeah, have you heard about this?
Dude, and did you hear the comments that were written about him?
Yeah. No, I've seen some of that shit. It's pretty fucking bad.
Holy crap, no wonder that guy was so depressed. Basically, I mean, okay, so just hypothetical. He's a guy, and he's dealing with, and just from a purely objective standpoint, Zoe Quinn is not hideous. So we're talking about a guy that sees a girl, or a woman in this case, that he's attracted to. Guys make moves, and I could see a male feminist deciding that he's going to test the waters of chaddom and see what happens, and obviously it backfiring in some way. That's a hypothetical. For all I know, that happened. You know, he decided to go nuts and be like, hey baby, and like cop a feel or whatever, and she took it the wrong way. I don't think that's the way that it went down, but
no.
Again,
no.
Yeah, hypothetical though, just hypothetical.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible, yeah.
Yeah, hypothetical. yeah, basically, a male feminist makes a retarded mistake, and rather than Zoe Quinn slapping him and saying, settle the fuck down, instead she ruins his life. Like, what the fuck, man? That's a bit much. Of course, I have my own thoughts about it. Perhaps I won't say them out loud, but I think you know what they are. And they move toward it being an unjust situation.
Yeah.
But like,
Well, yeah,
shit.
and I think that I share that pretty much dead on, man.
Yeah.
The thing that gets me though is that the whole thing just speaks to a much greater problem, right? Which is that, like, these turbo thoughts, dude, these Twitter leftist feminist types, right, that are like pervading universities and like certain aspects of like corporate cultures, right, like HR and shit. These people, these fucking females are power tripping to a level that I don't think modern man has witnessed ever before in its history. Unless the cyclical civilization shit is true and we've been here before. But seriously, I try not to get too hardcore with any particular thing, whether it be like political or otherwise, right? So like the MRA or the MGTOW stuff, like I've delved into it. I don't be like, yeah, I'm MGTOW or like whatever. But damn, dude, like those arguments are getting more and more prescient to me by the day, where it's like you have to just avoid these people. You can't risk it. They're human landmines.
Yeah, I've actually come all the way to the point that I in a perfect world would like to get married and have some kids in a perfect world. Maybe it'll happen, maybe it won't. I don't know, but I will actively avoid feminists. I will actively avoid progressives. I want nothing at all to do with them. I think that's the only option.
Yeah, like, and I don't even want to deal with them from a distanced, detached electronic perspective. Like JF did a live stream today, I think, where he was talking with some like Asian leftist chick, and people were saying in the comments, they were like, I don't even want to listen to this. Like, I can't deal with leftists. And I'm like, I'm in the same boat, man. I can't really. It's not even that I can't take it seriously, but that it just enrages me to a point where it's like, yeah, I can't deal with you people. The blood pressure rise is not worth it to me at this point.
Yeah, and that's why I've been moving much more into the area of we don't negotiate with terrorists. Once you have that in your head, it's like you don't have to worry about it anymore.
Yeah, see, but all of this just leads up to us just fully having a nice little boogaloo, dude. Because if you can't talk, like, and I'm not arguing against this, I'm just saying we're already at that point, right, where we can't even, they don't want to listen to us and we don't want to listen to them. Right. What's left at that point? I mean, you only have two options at that point: peaceful separation or not so peaceful separation.
Yeah, and this is why I say in my own head that I do wish for a peaceful separation. Even though I don't expect it to happen, it's what I wish for.
Right.
And that's why I like to harp on it as a concept. You know, not again, I don't believe it's going to happen, but as long as I just say and reinforce it, you know, I do wish for peace on earth. I don't think it's never going to happen. You know, where there is life, there is going to be discord. So, but I do wish for peace, and it's like, I mean, because these guys are talking about we want to disarm America. They want everyone to be defenseless. They want to literally import terrorists from Mogadishu and then render us defenseless against the terrorists that they will be importing and protecting. That's unacceptable.
Yeah, it's bad enough here in America that that's even on the table, and it is. But it makes me think about the situation in Europe, dude, because, like, I've heard stories, and I believe it, and I'm pretty sure it's just the tip of a much, much greater iceberg that nobody's even really thought to really investigate at this point. But I guarantee you that there are caches of weapons, and I mean military grade, AKs, RPGs, all that shit, in mosques all over Europe right now.
Well, that was a big deal back in 2016, 2017. There were like a crap load of articles about that. That was one of the things that got me red-pilled, was when I noticed that all of those mosques, they had, exactly, caches of weapons. A lot of Kalashnikovs.
Yeah, like high-grade weapons that are superior, at least in the sense of, real select-fire assault rifles and, explosives, right? That it's like these fucking... This is why I like Poseidon. He refers to a lot, when he's not joking, calling them doctors and engineers, he oftentimes refers to them as an army. And it's like they're an army. They're just lying in wait.
It's that
they
that
have
is the
they
case,
have
though.
equipment. They have weapons.
Yeah.
It's just stored.
Yeah. So because I get what you're saying. Like, once you take the hardline tack of we don't negotiate with terrorists, and then you cut off compromise and conversation, you're basically relegating yourself, resigning yourself to conflict that could very well end up physical. But it's like, what? Because I used to be one of those guys where I was like, yeah, man, we're gonna engage in conversation, and somehow we're gonna find common ground somehow. But it's been 4 years. 4 years of me being a goddamn cuck for the first 2, trying to find some common ground, and instead, I just get derided and attacked. Like, after a certain point, what do you do?
Yeah. Let me clarify real quick, Eke, once again, that I'm not arguing against your position of that we don't negotiate with terrorists, because regardless of the possible and one might argue inevitable outcomes of that position going forward, it's like it doesn't change the potential fact that we're there already, that there is no changing that, regardless, that it's the correct position to adopt in light of the current situation, is really what I'm saying.
And that's really what upsets me so much, is that I spent my whole life being told that open discussion is good. You can change people's minds by having the better argument, blah blah blah. And then here I am, age 40, and instead of a relatively peaceful middle age, oh no, we're now like, I'm staring down civil discord to such a degree that now I'm thinking about all those zombie movies and wondering to myself, how realistic were they intended to be?
Yeah, was this prep?
Yeah.
No. Yeah, instead of a nice, comfy old age, welcome to Doom 2 Hell on Earth IRL. Okay. With burning skulls and, flaming pits and all that good shit, coming soon. Yeah, it's fucked up, man. I'm in the same boat, dude. I dreamed of, I was like the astronaut kid when, except it was a little different. But, I believed in the optimism. And I mean, it didn't help that I was kind of, you know, a kid in the 90s. It's like, that was still a good time, at least to some extent. But yeah, man, it's like those memes, you've seen those memes where it's like, never forget what they stole from us or from you, and like
Yeah.
the future that they took, shit like that, man. It's like, it's true. That's why that shit gets to you on an emotional level, because it's true. Just like all memes that really hit, hard and correctly, it's because there's truth in them.
Yeah.
Sucks ass, man.
I know, dude. It's such a freaking bummer. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't.
Fuck, dude. We might have to, you know what, Eke? I have to be selfish right now, and we might have to throw in a quick music break, brother, to break the black pill here.
Oh yeah. I've been accused of being a bit black pilly of late.
Yeah, well, I don't help with that, man, because holy shit, I
Yeah.
struggle to hold that shit at bay every day.
Yeah. Because I still think that there is room for optimism, and even though we haven't discussed it here within our little chit chat. Excuse me. I've been getting a lot of great results with Christ posting, so I kind of feel like there's a little bit of room for optimism. There are angles of approach that I don't think have been exploited fully within our lifetime. So there's something in there somewhere. But that said, I do like the idea of a music break. So how about I get something going? I'm gonna do media source. We're gonna remove. We're just gonna do a short little break, exactly enough, no more, exactly enough to have just perhaps some water. How does that sound?
Yeah, I think that's pretty well perfect, man.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna look for a short track. I've got a bunch of long tracks lined up. That's not good. Oh my god.
What's the definition, Eke, of a long and short track for you?
Long track is plus 6 or 7 minutes. Short track could be like 2.5
to 3. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
That's where my head is at too.
Yeah. So I've got a crap load of albums lined up. It's not good. Okay, you know what? Okay, here we are. All right. This I know what I'm gonna play. I've got it queued up. I'm just gonna get I'm gonna get an associated image. Something that kind of makes sense. Even though
Pick related.
Yeah, I'm hoping to find something. So here, this is the best I can do. This is the best that I can do. Okay. Oh wait, what? No, wait. Oh my god, no, you are fucking kidding me. Okay, you know what? That didn't work out at all. I'm really pissed off about that. Because I got the son of a bitch. Sorry, after
Jesus.
I know, I have to remove everything. This is such a bummer. OBS did something terrible. Because I had everything, like, I actually had everything lined up. Like, all of it. It was great. Son of a... Videos, yes. Yes. Okay, fine. We're good now. And now we're going to do image work. Oh my god. I'm sorry, I should have done this much earlier. Okay, now we're looking okay. Okay. Okay, now we're good. Okay, we're gonna get a short music break going right now, and we'll be back after this short break.
The time go right out the window, trying to hold on to didn't even know I wasted it all just to watch you go. I kept everything inside, and even though I tried, it all fell apart. What it meant to me will eventually be a memory of a time when I tried so hard and got so far, but in the end it doesn't even matter. I had to fall to lose it all, but in the end it doesn't even matter. I don't know why, it doesn't even matter how hard you try. Keep that in mind, I designed this rhyme to remind myself how I tried so hard. In spite of the way you were mocking me, acting like I was part of your property, remembering all the times you fought with me, I'm surprised it got so. Things aren't the way they were before. You wouldn't even recognize me anymore. Not that you knew me back then, but it all comes back to me in the end. You kept everything inside, and even though I tried, it all fell apart. What it meant to me will eventually be a memory of a time when I tried so hard and got so far, but in the end it doesn't even matter. I had to fall to lose it all, but in the end it doesn't even matter. I've put my trust in you, pushed as far as I can go. For all this, there's only one thing you should know. I've put my trust in you, pushed as far as I can go. For all this, there's only one thing you should know. I tried so hard and got so far, but in the end it doesn't even matter. I had to fall to lose it all, but in the end it doesn't even matter. It doesn't even matter how hard you try. 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 I don't know why. I don't know why. I don't know why. It doesn't even matter how hard you try. 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 I don't know why. I don't know why. I don't know why. I don't know why. It doesn't even matter how hard you try. 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 I don't know why. 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 It doesn't even matter how hard you try.
Oh gosh, sorry about that. I got lost in the music because that's what we do. My apologies. Okay, we've got Sin back. Are you there, buddy?
Ayo.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, good. So while I was having some water, we were talking just a little bit about transitions from black pill to white pill, and we were struggling to find something, and then I remembered something which sounds a little bit weird, and it doesn't initially to me sound like a white pill, but like superficially, but I've noticed some people within some of these circles getting genuinely angry. I mean properly angry, and I'm starting to, and I don't mean, let me qualifiers, please. There's no, I'm not trying to dismiss anyone. I'm not trying to deride anyone. So let me just get that way out of the way. When I say angry, I don't mean the Wignet angry. I mean people that are otherwise normies in terms of their general temperament, that are actually starting to get pissed off. And I think that's great. I don't want people to be upset. You know, of course, this is a stream of peace. I unironically want to stare at clouds in parks and shit. Like, I love that stuff. But when it's just a regular person getting upset, that's great, because then it's starting to hit nerves in the public consciousness. That's really, really good. That means that things are moving in the right direction. You're not going to start to make decisions, you're not going to start to solve problems until the problems are so upsetting that you're disturbed by them. But anyway, you were saying something, Sin. I'm sorry, I cut you off. What was it?
No. I can't even remember, man. But building on what you just were saying, like, yeah, I remember on a stream a while back, like here with you, I mentioned that, like, I've seen, you know, comments on like Fox News videos, right, where it's talking, you know, just normie shit, but people in comments are saying things like, you know, hang the demon rats and various other things, and it's like,
yeah,
more conservatives are fucking pissed off, dude. A lot of them, like the normie, like rank and file, you know, not even normie, but just the regular people. I mean, yeah, the normies, but, like, you know, I don't know who they are, but they're fucking, the general sentiment seems to be one
ready to
of
go through here.
Damn near conflict ready awareness.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And I kind of think that, because I've seen some of that too, especially on wait, am I? Oh shit, am I? No, I'm sorry. I thought I was streaming some audio there. My bad. Yeah, I've seen some of this stuff on some of the conservative sites too, and I've even seen a couple of boomers in the firearms community start to really get close to Fed posting. And for me, that's excellent news, because of all the people, like, because you hear these and this is like a common thing, boomers say Molin Labe, and the first thing anyone thinks by reflex action is, you, boomer, that just said Molin Labe, are going to be the first person to turn in your gun. Settle down.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, right. Like, put the fucking Greek away.
Yeah.
You know?
But some of these guys, they're starting to get more serious now. Even, I mean, in a very oblique, really oblique way. Even that guy, Warrior Poet, even that guy was starting to skirt around the subject, like a couple weeks ago. I don't know if you caught that.
Yeah, I actually subscribe to that dude. Funnily enough that you mentioned him, I threw down like a red-pilled comment to one of his videos he put out. I think it was in like praise of John McCain.
Yeah.
And he actually responded to the comment.
No.
And so then I responded to his response with another, like,
can you post
lengthy
it? I want
thing
to
where
read this.
where I was like,
I want to read this.
dude,
If you can link to it somehow.
I'll see if I can. I'll see if I can dig it up for you. But I said to him in the response that I was like, look, man, I like you. You know, I like what you're doing with this. I like respect the warrior poet mindset and all this other shit. But, and then I just threw down some red pills about
Nice.
like fucking neocons and yada yada. Just like, I can't even remember exactly how I threw it down, but it was in the moment that it was just, and people actually upvoted it a lot.
Nice.
So, like, yeah, it was. But so, yeah, the whole warrior poet. But yeah, so that's good to hear that he's throwing down some more red pill shit. I didn't see that myself.
Yeah, and there was another one, a different channel, and it was a bit cheeky on my part, but it was in there was something about Chuck Schumer and like body armor, like he wants to outlaw body armor, and it's a bit cheeky on my part, but I put a comment in, and this is just a regular normie gun channel, this is not woke in the least, and in the comment section I decided that I was going to triple parentheses Chuck Schumer and say, oh, Schumer wants us defenseless, or doesn't want us to be able to withstand rounds, how shocking, or something like that. And one of the comments was, oh, someone's a namer in here, nice. And I was like, oh my god.
Dude, yeah, actually, funnily enough, I've seen triple parentheses posting in quite a few, like, what I would also describe as, like, normie gun channels. So, like, people there, I think, are getting kind of woke, dude. I think it's spreading more than they would like to admit. I think you can kind of see it if you just float around a little bit. At least here on the internet. I don't know about what's going on in real life, but what is real life? Real life is mainstream life, which is their life. It's the life that they control, that they shape, right?
Yeah.
Pop culture, all that bullshit. What else?
Yeah.
What else is so-called real life? I mean, the relationships you have with your neighbors or friends and family. Like, we don't know shit about what's really going on in that world. How many people are talking to, friends and family about shit that they wouldn't even post online?
That's true, because a lot of people do not know that I'm red-pilled. Most people think that I am basically like a standard normie, and that's it.
Right. Exactly.
So,
and how many other people are like rolling incognito exactly the same way? There's really no way to know.
it's true.
I mean, unless you're Google, then you know, probably. But
yeah, I guess there is that. Yeah, and they've been really hitting hard on like WN, like big time. Big time.
yeah, bigly.
Because the the Bernie Sanders decided that he was going to wage war on WN, and speaking of Poseidon's thing where he wants a flash point so that people can see that they are being attacked, like we're starting to get to that point now.
Yeah, well, like on the subject of like normie boomers getting like woke, I think the whole like red flag law thing has a lot to do with that, man. Because if you want to talk about like a flashpoint that is somewhat red pilling to a wide swath, like pretty much all like normie con conservatives, gun rights is like pretty much the biggest one, right? So if you've got the left making a major push on that, and then you've got like the sellout neocons going along with it, like that's a wake-up call to a lot of the like rank and file, fucking normies out there. That's like, look, there's not really anyone standing up for you. You have to stand up for you with the rest of us. Like, that's the only way. So I think that's I don't know, dude. That's I think the biggest thing. Like, people are saying, Epstein. It's like Epstein this, Epstein that. It's like no. Epstein's not enough. You'd have to like crack that open. It's maybe red pilling in the sense of it convinces people that they're being lied to. Like, but I think there's who still believes the government's telling them the unironic truth? I mean, even like hardcore commies don't believe that.
Here's another fun one, sort of related, which is that I think there may be room for red pilling boomer conservatives by making mention that Mexicans vote 70% Democrat, and that their firearms, their Second Amendment protections are going to be voted away by the illegal immigrants and legal immigrants, that they're saying, well, I'm not racist. It's going to be voted away by those people.
Ooh, that's pretty good, man. Use Second Amendment, gun rights as the pry bar to jam into that crack where it's like, just so you know, if you really want to hang on to these rights, you better be willing to put up with being called racist, because this is what you need to do.
Yeah. And again, for my own purposes, like, I don't care. If a person's Mexican, don't give a shit. But as far as I'm concerned, like, I'm not giving up my Second Amendment protections, period. And just because the majority of people that want me to not have Second Amendment protections, just because the majority happen to be Black and Mexican, like, I don't care. Don't give a shit. It's not about them, it's about me.
Yeah, I think it's kind of sad and maybe ironic that the right wing in America, at least, is probably more willing, openly they state, at least, that they're more willing to go to war to preserve their gun rights than they are to preserve their race or their people.
Yeah, and that's why, and people give me shit for this one a lot, but that's why I pick on firearms rights so much, because there's a link to something that people can relate to.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. It's kind of like the only thing we have left at this point, I think, and it fits the situation we find ourselves in with, like, the red flag kind of being the, like, main focus now. It's being rammed pretty hard through a lot of states right now, from what I understand. So
Yeah.
it's kind of, and like, that's another thing too that might kind of further the, like, like, soft balkanization, right, where you have people fleeing red flag states, liberal states, where it's like,
but that's what I'm gonna do, and I feel bad about it because I don't know what else to do. If I stay in California, I mean, I'm gonna get red flagged. The only thing they have to, I'm going to get doxxed sooner or later. I am stunned that no one knows that I'm actually John Smith at 1234 Green Valley Lane. Anyway, but it's like, at some point it's gonna happen, and like, once I get doxxed, someone's gonna be like, oh, Eke, he's out of control, he said things that were offensive one time or something, and we gotta red flag him, and then that's it. Then my Second Amendment protection is gone. I gotta go to court to get back my own property, like crazy shit. Maybe that could be another flashpoint. I don't know. Like, when there are enough of these things that even boomer fucking tier conservatives are like, oh yeah, I guess there is a problem here. But yeah, like, I think there could be. This is why I think that Billy Roper's idea doesn't sound as outlandish when you start to play it out. The idea of balkanization and, like, little islands, archipelagos of white people. Theoretically, there could be something there. And, like, once you see those archipelagos under siege, for, like, oh, there are too many white people here, we gotta break that shit up. Like, that is happening. In the media, they're talking about how Vermont is too white. They said that, or New Hampshire, whatever the hell it was. They said that. and just imagine them and there's like they're okay, so like a year or two ago they were talking about how there are too many white people in like the Northeast, and there was a news report recently where like hundreds of Somalians were imported to that very state, whichever one it was. So like, if these kinds of things continue and you link them to firearms rights, maybe, just maybe some boomers will catch on. I don't know, man. I don't know.
I don't know either, man. Like, the thing that really gets me is that, what do you do? Like, what do you say you get the boomers to catch on and you get some real resistance to all the shit? What do you do then? That's the real, I mean, like, obviously, we can't get into that too much, but it's like, I mean, but in all seriousness, like, even after, like, any kind of boogaloo, how do you actually set shit up, like, from the ashes, so to speak, in light of the fact that there's no, like, there's no power structure, there's no organization, there is no, like,
yeah. Well,
grassroots right-wing HQ doesn't exist.
Yeah.
And it can't exist, right? Because it'll be destroyed instantly. Yeah. So
I keep thinking that there's a certain level of faith that we simply need to retain here. Because I agree. Like, there are a lot of people that are really upset about things, and they do want to do something. And they are at a loss to do anything, and I'm frustrated by this all the time, because I would love to have a champion. That would be so great, a person that is a champion for us and says, I am going to help in some. Oh, that'd be so awesome. I would love that. Obviously that figure doesn't exist right now, but I do think that and this is blind faith on my part, and I do understand that. I do think that such a person is going to arise at some point of necessity, because there are so many people that are now starting to get woke and get upset by it. And what I mean, again, I can't stress this enough. These are normie tier, mentally and emotionally normie tier people that are getting upset. And once you have enough people that are of that mindset, sooner or later one of them is going to take reins, and I'm looking forward to that. I wish that I could somehow be a part of that. Like, I wish I could help expedite that in some way. I do not want to be that person at all for a lot of reasons, but I will clap for them, and I will share their links on Twitter. And I think that person is probably going to be coming along sooner or later. And in some way, I kind of feel like what we ought to be doing is creating like a groundwork, a bedrock, a flower bed. That's the best one. I think it's best to prepare a flower bed so that person can take root. So
yeah, fertile soil. That's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah. Because they need to be nurtured. Whoever that person is, they need to be nurtured.
Yeah. It's kind of like, the whole thing of what you were just saying, this whole topic, like, it basically reminds me of like taking, it's like taking the Christ pill, right? Like, being serious about it. You're like, okay. But imagine almost like from a heretical standpoint where you're like, look, someone is going to come, and we have to be ready to recognize and further them along, like, to fulfill their destiny. It's almost like you're a disciple in waiting, right?
That's actually my mindset right now. That sounds crazy, but that actually is my mindset.
Yeah, me too, dude. Yeah. Like, you're just waiting to hopefully recognize things and be there to nurture and guide as best you can.
Yeah. Well, I don't think I'll be the one guiding. at best, I'll be a critic, a person who simply observes what's going on and then offers some discussion on the subject.
Well, I mean, dude, being a guide can be as simple as like laying out expectations. I mean, shaping the
Here goes Los
environment.
Angeles.
I mean, even critique is guiding, shaping in a way. So,
Yeah.
like, regardless, but yeah, I fully agree with you that that's kind of what it is. And maybe, I don't know, people can argue, right, that it's like, oh, that's inaction, or you're just, you're must savior complex or whatever. And it's like, well, listen, we know logically our problem is leadership. We know we need leadership. So it's not unwise to prepare oneself for developing the proper leadership and nurturing it, right? Like, that's actually a viable strategy from a logical standpoint.
Yeah. So,
But I mean, I get the whole, I get some of those critiques, but it's like, if that's not, if you're not just literally sitting around waiting for someone to save your ass, if you're doing other things and you're doing what you can and so on and so forth, like we all pretty much are, that shit to me is invalid criticism. It's like, inaction. It's like, well, what the fuck else can we do? We can't all just go and hero. That's not going to fucking fix anything.
Yeah, well, I mean, but that would be an end to us in general anyway. I mean...
Yeah, exactly. That's like, go out with a bang, accomplish nothing. But,
Well, and then what are you taking out? You're taking out, like, the good genes or something? Like, no, don't do that. No. You should stay alive. We need protectors to be alive. We don't want people fucking sacrifice. This is not StarCraft with those little infected Terrans that go out and suicide bomb. That's stupid. You don't want that.
Yeah, and I would argue that, like, the people, I mean, like, there are some people, the Spurgnats, that are just like, they're just hyper black-pilled to the point where they're like, fuck it. But there's a lot of other people that I'm pretty sure are radioactive to the point of incandescence. People that grow in various shades. That really, that's you see, like, the where it's like, yeah, it's basically that, like, hey kid meme, right? But you see it, like, in comments and shit, and you're like, I don't know if this is actually
every time I see that, I kind of wanted to start saying glow harder to these people.
Dude, seriously, fuck it, just start doing it, man.
Yeah, because there's a guy, like, months ago, there was this dude that was talking about, like, mega Fed posty shit, like ATF tier Fed posting shit. And I remember telling the guy, you need to either calm the fuck down or you need to resign because you're a really shitty Fed. And, like, he settled down. I haven't heard of him since. And I feel like that's the right way to deal with it. Because if the person is a retard, call them out. And, I mean, it sounds harsh, but no. Announce you're being a retard. No one's going to listen to you, and you're only going to get other people hurt. Fucking stop. And if the person is a Fed, well then, stop it.
Yeah,
that's cynical.
Like,
we're not fucking pawns, and you're getting a bonus or whatever. That's not worth someone's life, so go fuck yourself. That's not cool. Don't do that.
Right. Like, dude, for me, it's at the point now where, like, the limits of Fed posting that I will not even engage in, but, like, entertain, I mean, like, even give, like, a thumbs up to, is people, like, saying, we need, like, a new, like, there's people that say stuff along the lines, every now and then they bring up something like the Free Corps, right? They're like, America needs a new Free Corps, or it's time, and it's like, yeah, that's and, like, that's the shit they don't really want anyone to say. They don't want anyone to call for any kind of action, whether it's violent or not. Like, obviously, legally, you can't fucking call for violence, but like, even calling for assembly, which is what the First Amendment's actually supposed to fucking protect, along with other things. I mean, if you read it, it says, freedom of assembly. But
which we do not enjoy.
Yeah, which we don't have at all anymore. But like, anyone calling for the formation of any kind of organization is like a major. That's like a big no-no. They don't like that.
Yeah.
So and that's the thing. It's like, the one thing I'll say is that with like the recent rounds of like censorship and all that shit, channels being deleted, is that at least some people are kind of realizing now it's coming together for them that it's not about rules, following any arbitrary fucking terms of service or any of that bullshit. It's about who's effective. Like, whoever is the most effective is who gets banned.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah. James Allsup.
Figure that shit out real quick.
Yeah, because that guy, James Allsup got banned. And one of the reasons that I liked him, oh, by the way, it's pronounced Frycore, not Freecore.
Okay, yeah, Fry, right. Yeah.
It's okay. It's fine. Yeah.
Fuck.
Oh, okay. But yeah, James Allsup, say what you will about the guy. I think he's really normie friendly. Much more so than a lot of the other right-wing types. Who is it? Vincent from the Red Elephants or whatever?
Yeah.
He's not too bad. I kind of like him.
Yeah, I like Vince. But like, Vince is, if I had to say, like, I would say that Vince is like the most normie friendly that you can possibly be while still being based and red pilled.
Yeah.
And like, someone like James Allsup is like he's like one step from that, where he's just a little bit spicier.
Yeah, and that's actually why I think he was banned, is because James Allsup, he actually kind of occupies the area that I think we should be angling for, which is directly in between. Actually, he's not even in between alt-light and alt-right. He's actually closer to in between normie and alt-light in a weird way. It's hard to explain.
Yeah, presentation-wise, for sure.
Yeah.
Right, and that's the key. It's he kind of took the optics debate seriously.
Yeah.
But he kept it to himself, and he just kind of implemented it, and it worked pretty well. But yeah, they banned him because he had 500,000 subscribers, dude. That's the bottom line. He was, and they were young. His demographics are young people, not fucking boomers.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because I remember even listening to him like a couple videos before he got banned, and I remember in the back of my head thinking, I only barely understand. Like, he's just got this way of being where, I mean, it's not that I don't understand. Obviously I do understand him, but he just has a certain sensibility that I can tell is of the time. It's of a time that is not mine at all.
Yeah, like, for me, like, I liked Allsup back in the old Man on the Street days, right, where he was like at campuses doing shit, and getting screeched at by fucking harpies. It was like, he kind of had this, I don't know, he came across to me as like, he had this kind of like likable Chad thing going on, where I was like, this is the kind of like avatar for the right wing like movement, quote unquote, that I would support, like put my shit behind. Like, yeah, this dude, not some of these other, more like at that time there was a wider field, and there was a lot of people like, fucking Baked Alaska and Worski and shit were still around. So I was like, yeah, I like all stuff about all of them. But then I came to find out he was, I mean, we all know he's way more based than he fucking puts out on the channel. Before he got banned, at least.
Yeah, he'll come back though. Not
Yeah,
on,
well,
I mean, he might not come back on YouTube, but I think that there's going to be other platforms that are going to have to, of necessity, there are going to be other platforms that are going to be explored. BitChute is starting to come up right now.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Like, the mass exodus to BitChute seems to actually kind of have started. So,
Yeah.
which sucks for me as a eternal phone fag, because there's no
And
app.
Me too, because I love streaming. Like, I genuinely enjoy, even though I'm not really examining the chat right now, but I can see that there is, like, I wish that I could participate in the conversation, but like, I actually really like live streaming because it creates an environment, like a community, and I love that. I think it's great. And if BitChute could stream, if they had that, which I don't think it's possible for them, but that's fine. Maybe there's like an alternate streaming site or something, and then maybe I could like upload that stream onto BitChute. Like, you know, it'd be a bit of a thing, but you know, theoretically possible. Anyway, options are going to be sought. There will be something sooner or later.
I keep hearing about DLive as the live streaming alternative.
Oh yeah, I've heard about that too.
I've heard people say it sucks, but that it's also kind of the only like streaming alternative, really. Like, I mean, you don't want to fuck around with Twitch. Jesus.
Why? What's wrong with Twitch?
Twitch is like uber leftist, bro.
Oh.
Yeah, like you cannot. Yeah, you like you. There'd be no way in hell you could stream anywhere close to the content that you even get away with on YouTube on Twitch.
Yeah. Well, that sucks.
At least in the long term.
Yeah, and given that I'm not a progressive, so obviously they would be like, oh, we got to go after this guy right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and like I don't know exactly what the situation is with DLive in terms of like content allowance. I'm sure if you followed like general YouTube policies, like you'd probably be fine. But like BitChute, I don't know, dude. Like if BitChute could just improve the user interface just a little bit, it would, I think, really help them. But in the meantime, they're kind of developing, at least from what I can tell, almost like a Gab-like atmosphere where it's like everything there is like fucking red-pilled content, basically.
Dude, like Way of the World is on there?
Yeah, it's the place where everyone that's been kicked off of
Yeah.
YouTube has a
Styx
rock.
is on there right now. Styx, Hex, and Hammer is on there. Who else is on there? Like a bunch of people are on there.
Oh yeah, Poseidon dropped a link in his chat about the Morgoth. Yeah, Morgoth's review had a list of like all the channels that have migrated over to BitChute with like links and shit.
Yeah, like it's
I
a
think
big
I
deal.
still have that, man.
Yeah. I'm starting to see, because we're gonna have to. Oh, Goitalk got kicked off of BitChute. That sucks.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
I mean, I get it. I get it. In my own mind, I keep thinking that there are. I'm playing the Mr. Rogers game, and when people don't play the Mr. Rogers game, they get kicked real fast. And Goitalk did not play the Mr. Rogers game at all. So I understand that there are penalties that come with absolute free speech, one of which is you're going to get attacked by progressives. That's going to happen. So, like, I get it. But even still, Way the World is up there. That's great news. Yeah, I hope BitChute does continue expanding. That would be nice. That would be very nice. Sin.
Sorry, bro. I was posting a link in the chat to that
okay.
Morgoth's. Oh, what the fuck?
What happened? Is everything okay? Oh no. Sin's doing things. Alright, I'm clicking on the link. Yeah, okay, that's huge. Oh my god. Brittany Pettibone, Resurrection Europa, Gemma Doherty, Critical Condition. Oh, she's on there, cool. Asha Logos, Aaron Kasparov, Critiqued, Brother Nathaniel, nice. David Duke is on there, nice. Laura Towler, No Apologies, hell yeah, I freaking love that guy. Philosophicat, let's see here. Wow, there's a bunch of people on here. Oh, Zurius is up there, nice. There's a crap load of people on there. Makes me want to be on there too. Oh no, you know who? I just realized I haven't seen him in a long time. The Leaf, what was his name? Vertigo Politics, but I forgot his new channel. Do you remember? Wait, are you there, Sin? Okay, well he's in the call, but I don't see him. Maybe his phone died or something. Oh, Rich D, the list is in the link that was put up by Sin, just a few comments above. Yeah, Sin took off. Ah, oh, that's super bummer. I think Sin's phone must have like run out of battery or something like that. What a bummer. Let's see here. Marge is asking where I am at. I am in Los Angeles, sunny Los Angeles. But yeah, there's the that guy, Vertigo Politics, and he had a new channel. I think it's called The Last White Man or something. And I would love to see some more of his content. Well, it's actually not a he, it's actually a they. But the narrator is always the same guy. But apparently it's a collection of like a couple of people that all operate together. And let me see if I can find that channel, because it's a really good channel. Last White Man Standing? No, it's not it. We'll have to go to channels. No. Well, ish. I can't find it. That's an absolute bummer. I can't find it. Oh well. I'm sure I'll find it somehow at some point. At any rate. Okay. So, Sin, I'm not... Oh, Last White is now deleted? Ish. That's super bummer. Because I really liked Vertigo Politics. He was like one of my favorite uploaders. Like, and he had really good taste in music too. Shit, I should have like downloaded some of his videos. He was great. Anyhow, alright, so it is now 1:15 a.m. and I have been going all day doing things. My voice is actually starting to give out just a little bit. I was helping out one of my neighbors who is elderly, and she has difficulty hearing, so I was yelling all day. So I think I'm going to go ahead and Oh, James Moore archived his stuff. If James Moore, yeah, James Moore, send it to me on Twitter, and I'll link to it. Because I'd like for people to hear his stuff and to see it, because I really love that guy. Or those guys anyway. They're great. That grouping of people. Okie doke. All of that said, I think today I'm not going to play an album because I'm just freaking wiped out, and I got terrible sleep last night. So I think I'm just going to play the old outro track and call it a stream. So with all of that said, I'd like to thank everyone for popping by. And I wish I had interacted with the chat just a little bit more. So sorry about that. I'll try to remember to interact with the chat more. And tomorrow we're going to do some more mitzvah streaming. So I look forward to that. And once I'm done with all of the mitzvahs, then we're going to go into the protocols of the elders of Zion, and then we're going to do a little bit of reading from a book that is sort of a companion to the Gulag Archipelago. So looking forward to that. Anyhow, all of that aside, we did do a touch of K streaming earlier, and I do think that exercising your Second Amendment protections, that is to say your God-given right to keep and bear arms as protected by the Second Amendment, I do think it's a good idea to exercise your rights. So I absolutely, if I was going to endorse anything, I would endorse that. Go plinking. Get yourself some kind of a nice, I don't know, bolt-action rifle. Get yourself some dinner plates that you're willing to destroy, or perhaps a case of soda pop, something like that, paper targets or something. Get out there and plink. And if you're going to do that, which I do recommend, do remember the 4 rules of firearms safety. Rule number 1, always treat every firearm like it is loaded. Rule number 2, never cover or sweep anything that you are not willing to destroy. Rule number 3, your finger stays off of the trigger until your sights are on target. And the 4th and final rule is be aware of your target and what's beyond it. Safety first. And again, I say thank you, everyone. I hope you all have a fantastic sleep. Remember to say your prayers. And obviously, very important, brush and floss. Beautiful choppers are a necessity. Okay, guys, cheers, and I'll see you all in the chats.